Yeah,
We
it's,
had it, we had it
We
years
did
ago.
have
yeah, it was done.
And it
I
was-
thought we did.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we did.
everything we could find, it was given up.
It was quite a few years ago
I remember
that it
the
ended, and it had to do with finances.
Okay.
And also, one of the instructors retired, so that,
Yes.
you know, that left people here, nobody here with certification.
Do we know whether Wallen Paulpack has it?
Yes.
They
Yeah,
did, I
they
don't know
took,
if
they
they
would
still
take
do.
us down to, so when
I'd
we
have
were
to
here,
look
they
into
took you
that.
down to the driver's ed. You just had to bring your birth certificate with you and you went through the course, you did everything, and then they would, Mr. Brown actually took us
Yeah,
down
background.
to get our driver's license too. And yes, it was at 16 that day.
Hey, thank you.
Yeah. It's still being discussed.
Good.
This would be the short answer.
Again, it's something that programmatically we think would be beneficial. It's just a
Well, we
matter
all
of
know how
getting
bad
it
the
right.
drivers are.
Yeah. We just
Yeah.
want to make sure we have the resources to support it.
Good.
I just had a question. With the new push towards the STEAM program, the great innovations they have, at what point do the students start becoming introduced to like a personal iPad? What grades at this point in our curriculum?
To a personal iPad?
Well, one that they can use in the
We
schoolwork, in the
actually
coursework.
just received EITC funds
Mhm.
through the Wayne County Community Foundation, and it's currently almost $15,000 that we use to purchase 2 iPad cards for both elementary schools that the
Okay.
students can access and begin utilizing those with cases that have keyboards on them so that they can type on them.
So
as
they'll
well.
be in the elementary
They're
classrooms.
also
so-
using the mini what do they call
The
those?
Ozobots.
Ozobots, their little robots that they're using.
Okay,
which
So
is
we
pretty-
just put in a purchase order for those iPads
okay.
to start.
All right, so they're gonna have those in the
Using
elementary.
those
And
at
how
the
about the
elementary.
middle school then? Do they have use of
I know some of the
Chromebooks
middle
or-
school kids use them for certain tests,
Mhm.
and it's funny, they hate it.
At
You
the-
know, which is funny, they're just.
The elementary
don't
school
like it.
doesn't have
In
the quantity of computers in the buildings that the middle and high school do at the moment.
Mhm.
So we started to build pods in the classrooms that they can access. Where at the high school, middle school, there are more classroom carts that are there that the students can access while they're in that course or in that class at any time. And they also have more computer labs spread out on this campus. While they do have computer labs at the elementary buildings, there aren't as many. So we are looking to push technology down towards the elementary at this point, but we're looking at funding, again, to support that. And thankfully, we received a generous grant to help us with that.
Good, thank you.
We're actually hoping that there may be a few $1,000s more within the next few months from the same organization. We're hoping that comes through.
Then are we going to get any more updates from that really, I'm sorry, I don't remember her name, that really interesting teacher that was going around in the school specifically for STEAM?
Our principal of STEAM?
Is that what she's, the principal of STEAM?
Yes.
Yes.
2 months ago.
Yeah, we just did one a
Mhm.
couple months ago. We'll continue.
Because it sounded like she was really looking to do some interesting innovations in the classroom.
She just had STEM night at Evergreen and RD Wilson.
Yes,
Last week and the week
Last
before. It was a great turnout, it really was.
exactly. We
And
had-
it was a fun night, I mean, she has some great ideas coming through.
She seems very energetic.
A lot of positive feedback from those STEM nights as well as the programming that's been being infused into the curriculum.
Okay.
Again, this is in its early stages. We're really looking to build a robust program, pre-K to 12. But
Okay.
they're currently, in the elementary is the greatest need at this point, so
Mhm.
that's where we wanted to start it.
Okay, great, thank you.
Ms. Watson is actually presenting on behalf of Western Wayne at a conference at the Mohegan Sun in March.
Oh, great.
The Student Success Symposium, I believe. the name of it is. Something along those lines. But she's representing Western Wayne in front of hundreds of local educators.
Wonderful, thank you.
Okay. Anyone else? Okay, on to the agenda. Okay, we have our approval of minutes, reports, approval of bills, accounting of taxes, student recognition, recognition of public. We have our enrollment report there. We actually gained a few students over the past month. Moving on to page 3, number 12. This is an agreement for Evergreen. This is for services related to our wastewater system at Evergreen. This is a 1-year contract with an engineering firm to help get our wastewater system to where it needs to be. Currently, Joe, help me out here, fill me in on some of the more intricate details, but that system had been neglected for a period of time. We have had some significant mechanical malfunctions that happened over the last year, 2 years.
Since
Right.
about Thanksgiving, we've been really struggling with this thing. But you're right, for the last couple of years. When I came on board here 2 years ago, it wasn't functioning. Neither was the irrigation system. It almost made me want to turn around and walk back. But we have made significant progress with it. It's a really complex system. It's a really good system, and I think if we can get it working the way it was designed, it would be a very, it'd be an advantage to the district. When it is working, you know, we take in maybe 3,800 gallons of wastewater from that school, and we send about 1,800 gallons back to use for toilet flushing. So we're reusing a lot of the water through the system. And what we don't reuse, we could use for irrigation. So it's a terrific system. I just want to get it working the way it's supposed to be. There are only a couple of these systems in the whole country. And Jay Thrasher, who owns this Rovio Water Limited, he's one of the guys that's involved in fixing these things. And he was telling me that he just returned from a trip from Ohio where there's a school that has a similar system to ours. It's a little bit smaller, but they have also neglected their system for several years, and they're at the point where they have to replace the whole thing. I don't want to have to come here before you guys and ask for that kind of money. It's really expensive. I'd rather spend a little bit of money now and get this thing working. And I know we can do it.
Will we have training involved for someone on staff to learn how to manage this?
Yeah, the day-to-day operations are still on our end. Right now, the problem is, not to get into wastewater technology, but the recycling rate is way down. It's not where it's supposed to be. There's a media in each of those tidal wetland cells that may be clogged, may not be clogged. I don't have the expertise on that, but this gentleman does. And so what I'm looking for is to be able to call him for maybe a couple hours a week, and that's how it's set up. It's set up for a monthly fee, not to exceed 10 hours per month.
I understand that, but what I'm asking is someone being trained to be able to handle in those separate beds, the media, what I call them down, are we training someone to be able to recognize that there's something wrong there and how to correct it?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
I'm assuming that when the school opened, I guess it was 2011, that it was working properly? I mean, that's my
I
assumption.
would make that assumption too. I wasn't here.
Right, I know you
We
weren't.
have discovered problems.
So, would you say the problem is because over the years, when it was working properly and certain things happened in those tanks or the cells or whatever, that it was a natural process that maybe happened and should be somehow remediated along the way?
That could be a good assumption, but I want to go at it from right now. I don't want to
Yeah,
go back
sure.
and look 6 years ago and see what the
Keep
problem was.
working.
In handling these, in struggling with this thing, I found out a lot about the system, which is helping us.
You know, the board, Rose knows this, Rose and I are the only ones left, I guess. The board in 2008, 2009, somewhere in there, whatever, before the building was built, the board got on the bus and we went to the Darrow School, D-A-R-R-O-W. It's a prep school near Albany, New York, and the Massachusetts border. And they had one of these color living machines. There, we went to see how it worked and everything. And they company from North Carolina, I believe, is the one that built that, correct?
Aquanova from Virginia, I believe.
From
yes.
Virginia, I know it's down there somewhere. And I know they came and did a presentation, and they did a presentation to the county, to the Salem Township Supervisors, and of course to the board. And the thing was constructed, and the assumption obviously was that it was working properly at that point when the school opened. So something happened along the way, obviously.
It's working, it's
Yeah,
not that it's
yeah,
not working,
obviously.
it's that it's
Not working
here
at the
to
efficiency
continue
level
to
that-
work so that we
Yeah.
don't, a few years down the road, have like major repairs
Right,
to do
of
it.
course.
And that's what
That makes
Joe was
sense.
trying to do, just to keep it optimum.
Just to give you a sense of
New York?
the cost
Yes,
of the
it is.
repairs, our most recent repair was
The one in New York.
approximately $5,000.
About a year and a half goes,
Supposedly more advanced.
it was about 2,000.
Joe, is this gonna be month
For a
by
year.
month, oh, it is a year contract?
For a 1-year contract, yes.
So it's a 1-year contract, and again, if we don't utilize all of the hours in that month, they carry over.
Oh,
So
okay.
we can mix and match. If not as much as needed one month, we can use more the next month. And, but
Do you think we'll need it beyond the year? This consultant?
At this point, I don't. I think we could take care of it within the year. Now, that being said, there may be some additional work that has to be done if the media has to be replaced, if that fixed film media in those cells has to be replaced. I mean, that would be, additional to whatever this is. This is just really consulting to try to troubleshoot the system and get it working 100%.
Okay.
Right, to the town. Trying to say, Joe, it's on the extra duties.
This company is they were recommended to us from Aquanova. Aquanova is the company that installed the living machine. We had worked with them for a couple of years. They come up to overtime and did some work on the system. Jay is more local than Aquanova, they felt, and he was someone who has an expertise in this field also. And we've been working with Jay probably the last 2 or 3 years.
Correct, last 2
him
years.
coming up to do some service work on it.
So it is an expense, but it's a preventative expense that can cause a major headache down the road. We're preventing it.
Some of our staff, including you, you're taking classes currently for water distribution or something, or?
Wastewater certification and water certification. The district needs both of those certifications.
And we also have other staff members working with you on that too. There's multiple, we have more than
That's
one
correct.
person.
We have
So that's,
one other person was trained for the water
Yep.
operator certification, and I want to get people cross-trained.
Yeah.
So we're not limited to one person having it. And I'm a huge proponent of this living machine. I mean, Matt knows that I struggle with this thing and sometimes I curse about it, but it is a good idea. And this gentleman, Jay Thrasher, he was also interested in utilizing this facility that we have there. There's a lot of potential there to marry that up with the STEM initiatives. You have a greenhouse there that it's more than a wastewater treatment facility. It could be used for.
It has been used by the students to grow plants for Mother's Day and so on, but originally, when it was installed, we talked about having the high school kids or the biology class or something to be involved with it. At the Darrow School, those kids, it's sort of a rarefied atmosphere there. There's about, I think, between 300 and 400 students, and the tuition, they were mostly boarding students, was $48,000 a year at the time, to send your kid to high school. But anyway, the point being that they helped run the thing, science classes, so, and we talked about that.
Yeah. And through our STEAM
So
programming,
there is potential, you're correct.
we're looking to
Yeah,
incorporate
absolutely.
much more of that type of experiences for our kids, for our students.
And that is partly why we get silver lead status and all that.
Correct. I mean, the
We
facilities.
obviously have to keep it going,
Yes.
there's no alternative.
There's so much potential at the building that we can incorporate our students into.
Plus,
That-
someone township has sewage. There's no perk.
You ain't gonna be on board long enough.
Number 13, E-rate funding. So this will allow our technology department to purchase networking equipment to build and reinforce our technology infrastructure. We do not have the numbers yet for this, however, we believe it'll probably be less than last year, which was approximately $28,000, but we'll utilize that to purchase equipment and other necessary items for the technology department. Number 14 is a retainer with DeHay McAndrew. We've been working with them for the past several years for human resource issues, as well as assisting us with documentation, paperwork, etc.
With Labor Board and with
Labor relations.
IRS, yeah.
Do you have a cost for that?
I don't, last year, I expect it to be the same as last year, and I apologize, I did not write down last year's always figure, but I don't expect an increase over last year's numbers.
And we do expect that this week. We get that.
Yeah, I'll have it.
And number 15 is a small savings account for NBT Bank that we're looking to close out. As you can see, it's about $2,800, $2,900. It has been inactive for years. Our plan is to remove that account and place that back into the general fund. Number 16 is the athletic complex contract. This is the current scope of what we're looking to do. So we have the total cost at $1,566,000. And currently that's to remove and replace the existing track surface, remove and replace the synthetic turf, furnish and install the new bleachers.